Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Montgomery County Council's Friday, May 14th budget session. We'll begin today with the fourth video in our video series, Elevating Asian American and Pacific Islander Voices. Today's topic is food, arts, sports, and culture.
My background is a Taiwanese American. I actually came to America when I was about 3 years old. My parents were diplomats from Taiwan. And we actually settled just in Potomac, Maryland. And, sort of moved away, but, ended up coming back to Montgomery County.
I came here, this country, from Korea about 30 years ago. And then I went to l'Académie de Cuisine, the French culinary school, while my kids were little. And then when my kids reached the high school, I came out to my field.
I came to the United States in 1995 to go to graduate school at the University of Illinois. And once I got the PhD, I got a job at Brookings Institution, which brought me to Washington, D.C. in 2000. And at Brookings is where I met my wife, and we moved into the county in the summer of 2016.
Our business is called Didi Mei Mei Dumplings. Didi Mei Mei is Chinese for younger brother, younger sister. We sort of call ourselves that because I actually work with two partners, and we are all the younger siblings. And in our culture, the younger siblings are sort of the rebels who try to do something a little bit different. This was something that I also grew up eating, dumplings. For me, there was a connection to my grandmother. We would just spend, afternoons, long weekends, just kind of rolling dumplings, with her.
My business reached this year 10 years. As a food truck, we started, and then we moved to Wheaton, and 3 years ago, we opened here. And I'm literally living my American dream. I try to share my experiences with other aspiring entrepreneurs, so I'm so happy to participate.
I was thinking about, what my next project should be, how I could really model for my students, most of all, a civic engagement. There's a podcast, local podcast, run by 3 MCPS principals, and they said, hey, have you thought about doing a podcast ever? And I did my first episode on February 8th.
It's really hard to say that there is some sort of a monolithic kind of demographic that is, AAPI.
I wish people see Asian communities very different texture, with very different culture.
Asian American identity is really an American identity.
We are one Montgomery.
Right. Excellent. Thanks again to our terrific communications team for their wonderful work. Now we'll take up the consent calendar.
So move.
Councilmember Katz moves.
Second.
Councilmember Raymer seconds. Great. And I think we need a motion to suspend the rules to allow immediate action on item 1A.
So moved, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you, Councilmember Katz, Councilmember Rice. Okay, all those in favor of suspending the rules to allow immediate action of 1A, please raise your hand. Great. And all those in favor of the consent calendar, please raise your hand. Just in case. Okay, great. Thank you all. Now we will begin the work session on Montgomery College FY22 operating budget and FY21 to 26 CIP amendments. We have a committee recommendation. Let me turn it over to Chairman Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. And I think it's the first time that Dr. Pollard's been back since the passing of her father. I want to welcome her back and thank her. And also, I found a quote about leadership that I think is incredibly important, as we know that Dr. Pollard is now going to be taking on another endeavor in leading across the country with Nevada State College. But Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Dr. Pollard, you have certainly ensured that over your tenure, your impact will be felt for decades to come. And you have been a true leader of this institution, and just really want to say thank you. We will have an opportunity, colleagues, to thank Dr. Pollard with a proclamation. I just wanted to acknowledge the great work that she has done in leading Montgomery College over these years. So with that, I want to jump into the budget because, as always, Montgomery College has been a great partner with us in understanding our fiscal situation, has worked with us in terms of keeping their requests very modest, and always partnered with us in making adjustments as we needed them to ensure that we maximize affordability when it came to their budgetary requests. And so this year is definitely no different. The committee recommended unanimously approval of the county executive's budget for fully funding their requests with two exceptions. The first is a technical amendment reflecting the $4.8 million increase in state aid that went from $47,749,000 to $52,502,000. And the college has allocated the additional funding to both the current fund and the WDCE fund. And the college plans to apply the additional funding towards their fund balance. And then the committee also recommended using $1.4 million in fund balance from the current fund to make sure that there's no reduction in information technology for the community college project. That is something that we all know is incredibly important as we continue to have hybrid models throughout the summer and into the fall for Montgomery College that we're going to need to make sure that we're standing up IT. And so it's very good that we were able to come to a resolution regarding that additional funding and ensure that we weren't taking something away from the college that needed to. Again, I want to thank Dr. Pollard and the Board of Trustees for all of their great work, and Dr. Pollard's staff who have joined us today as well. Ms. Linda Hickey, Ms. Liz Greeny, Susan Madden, Donna Shana. Thank you all for continuing to be great partners and really being great fiscal stewards when it comes to that partnership. I will now turn it over to Ms. Rodriguez Hernandez and Mr. Howard, who do an incredible job and make it easy for me as chair to be able to lay out what the decision points have been, as well as the budget, to just go over some brief details about where we are budgetarily to just frame it for the rest of the council. So Ms. Rodriguez Hernandez.
Of course, thank you, Chair Rice, and I think you summarized it very well. I would just like to add that the Montgomery College's request also included $500,000 over MOE, maintenance of effort, and that is for two county-led projects. One, the Montgomery Can Code program to expand their programming, and to the Innovation Hub, which is an outgrowth of the Montgomery Can Code program and will be placed in the Rockville Manakee building, where students and community members and residents can use the facility for collaboration and entrepreneurship and items like that.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Rodriguez Hernandez. And I guess the best way to close this out is to hear from the leader. So Dr. Pollard, let me turn it over to you for any comments you might like to give us regarding the Montgomery College budget.
Well, thank you, Chairman Rice and the ENC committee for the work they've done with the college over the last several years to really help us develop a fiscal narrative that I think speaks to the trajectory of the college and certainly speaks to the long collaboration and partnership and support that we've enjoyed from the county and certainly the students that we have the privilege of serving. I'll be brief, and I think the best way that I've learned in these spaces is to simply say thank you for the support. This year, the Board of Trustees charged me specifically to establish a clear and simple set of budget priorities. One, to exercise fiscal restraint, and then to maintain affordability. As you heard this, our total appropriation is 2% less compared to last year, and we made savings as was directed and asked of us. This budget does three things. I want to put these out here because I think it speaks to this narrative and how we've been trying to, as an organization, do our work, hold the line on spending, protect our employees, and protect our students by holding tuition and fees flat. And we are still able, I think, to produce some of the innovative work that the college has been known for. And as we look at the recovery that is happening in Montgomery County and the phenomenal work that's being done by every member of this community to make sure that we all come from this in a different space, I really want to thank you all for seeing Montgomery College as essential to that. At one point, I used to say in some other spaces that recovery in the state of Maryland goes through community colleges, and I remain convinced that that's still the narrative. So thank you all very much, and I'll be very pleased to share with the board your tremendous support for the work they're doing. Several of them would have been here today, but they're actually in their spring retreat right now. So we are playing the fortune of having Zoom. I can go back and forth between them. So thank you all very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Pollard. And let me just say that I couldn't agree with you more about recovery. I shared with my colleagues on an earlier call today with some of our health folks that my daughter, who is 15, who just was eligible, is now getting her Pfizer vaccine at 1:30 at Montgomery College, or 1:25, I think it is. But and so, you know, when you talk about recovery, it means so many things on so many levels. And thank you to Montgomery College for stepping up and playing a role in the health recovery of Montgomery County, the state, and the nation. You guys in your thinking and partnership with the county has certainly enabled us to do so much when it comes to ensuring that we can further our goals of getting as many people vaccinated as possible. So just wanted to say thank you for your continued dedication and support and your partnership. And Mr. President, I'll turn it over to you for any other comments from colleagues.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Council Vice President Albornoz.
Dr. Pollard, it's not too late. We've got the Recreation Department in the queue. We can get you pool passes. We can get you food from those delicious restaurants that were profiled earlier. It broke my heart when I read that. It really did. But obviously, you've got to do what's best for you and your family. And this is another important milestone and opportunity as you continue to grow in your professional path. But just a point of privilege here, you are a superstar. It has been such an honor to work with you. And as Councilmember Rice said, we will have time later on to more formally express our deep appreciation to you. But this being our first opportunity in a public setting, couldn't miss it to just say thank you. Job well done. And you've extended beyond just Montgomery College. Your fingerprints are everywhere. Workforce development, social services. You've not stayed in your lane, and the college has benefited from it, and so has this entire community. So thank you. I've learned so much from you and look forward to supporting you in whatever you do in the future. And of course, support this budget recommendation and thank the committee for their work. And you guys make it easy for us. We know what a wise investment this is. So thanks. Just couldn't miss the opportunity to make those comments. Thanks so much.
Councilmember Novato.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I absolutely feel honored to be a member of the Education and Culture Committee along with Councilmember Jawando under the leadership of Chairman Rice. And I have been every year, I actually look forward to the conversations about Montgomery College, because one of the things I absolutely enjoy the most, and my staff can attest to that, are the conversations with the students. To me, they are the absolute reflection of your leadership. The way that they articulate the issues, the way that they come forward with a very productive and positive attitude to explain why certain things are needed, what are the challenges that they face, and also what are the opportunities. And I have to say that, you know, as an elected official at a time when there is so much narrative out there that is all or nothing, right? Where we find ourselves in conversations where it's a zero-sum game. There is just seems to be this desire to do away with an opportunity to have a dialogue and talk about the long game. I have always been in awe of how your students, because they've seen you emulate this, how your students are so well versed on the intricacies of the budget, the strategies moving forward, recognizing the success and the progress, but also very, firm on what needs to happen. And so when I heard that you had gotten this other awesome job, at first I was like, great, here we go. 2020 came and went, and here's 2021. What's going on here? But you know what? The sense that I felt, the relief that I felt, is that your imprint and your leadership, that culture shift, it's very, very much embedded in the students and all the staff, and I know it will continue. So needless to say, again, since you came to Montgomery County, there was an immediate recognition that this was a very different way of leading, that it was from a place of abundance. It was from a place of seeking understanding and building bridges. And I know this is needed throughout the country, so I'm glad you'll be able to do that. But I'm also very grateful to you, your staff, to the students for having stepped up and also having embodied this extraordinary change. So hopefully we'll get a chance to, to chat more, et cetera. But I wanted to say this because, as recent as yesterday, we find ourselves in this very strange moment where I find myself reflecting on how important it is for that kind of leadership, Dr. Pollard, that you have embodied, how important it is for leaders, policymakers, elected officials, et cetera, to follow that lead. This is why we have seen what we saw last year, and shame on folks who are in leadership positions that perpetuate that kind of division, because it's not going to serve us right. So again, you have established a culture that is so critical and that will really benefit so many people moving forward, especially with this post-COVID-19 recovery. And for that, I thank you. And I have learned a lot from you. And I look forward, of course, of supporting your budget request, and look forward to seeing what you're going to accomplish in Nevada as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Dr. Pollard, I know that there'll be other opportunities, but as you're hearing, this is the first time that we can say thank you to you for being a trailblazer here in Montgomery County, putting your authentic and true self out there, because we have seen you and we've heard you. And the budget, not only for Montgomery College, but the budget as a whole, is the culmination of your rallying cry here in Montgomery County. And it is proof that we've been listening to you and been a partner alongside of you. And I think it is good that the Board of Trustees is meeting right now, because they have their work cut out for them. So I am glad that they are talking, figuring out how to fill the big shoes that will be needed to carry on the vision and the work that has been laid as you go to Nevada. And I presume you have picked up it's Nevada and not Nevada, right? There you go. One of the first things I'll share with you there. But we will have more conversations. But thank you for this budget. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for your friendship.
Thank you. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I, too, just want to join the chorus and thank Dr. Pollard for all that she's done. I actually am a proud a person who proudly went to Montgomery College many years ago, but went, and I know how many lives it has saved then, and I know how many lives it has saved since your since your tenure with the institution as well. It truly is one of the great jewels of America. I mean, we take things for granted in Montgomery County in many ways, and we should not, but we do. And I can tell you that all of us are very proud of the students of Montgomery College, the faculty of Montgomery College, and to others' points. I know that and Nevada, I guess that's what Councilmember Glass just explained how you say it. See, I learned something this morning. Didn't even go to Montgomery College this morning, and I learned that. But I know that their gain is truly our loss. But because of you, we are all gaining from in every way. So thank you, and thank you, as others have pointed out, not only for your great professionalism, but for your great friendship as well. Thank you. And we will have other discussions along the way. And hopefully you won't change your cell phone number, because we'll still be in touch with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Friedson.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to add my voice to the chorus of appreciation and love for you, Dr. Pollard. I think the most contentious fights we have at the council sometimes are who has talked to Dr. Pollard last, and who has the best relationship. And it's a testament to your leadership, your value. We're losing a lot more than a community college president. And I think we all recognize that. I think that's why this moment and the announcement is so bittersweet for all of us. You're a trusted advisor. You are a center of so much of the moral leadership in the county, so much of the political and policy discussions that we have. You are a voice that we seek and an opinion that we covet. And hopefully you'll not forget about us. You'll continue to answer our calls. I'm afraid of mispronouncing Nevada, so I will avoid that as much as possible. But we wish you well. We're grateful for all that you've done for the county. Your legacy will be here long after you leave us to head across the country for this new professional opportunity, because there are thousands and thousands of Montgomery College graduates that will continue to do great things in our county, largely because of the work that you've done, the inspiration that you've provided, and the leadership that you've shown. And for that, we all owe you a debt of gratitude, and our county will be in much better shape than when you came to us. And we look forward to keeping in touch with you, and for you to continue to do the work that you've done here in other communities. So congrats and best of luck, and thanks for all you've done.
Thank you, Councilmember Reamer.
Thank you. Dr. Pollard, I just wanted to share, I've been on the council now for more than 10 years. You've been an anchor of my service. And, when I think about Montgomery County and the iconic leaders of this county, there aren't many, and you're one of them. And you've been, for me, what I think of as the archetypal role of the university president, the intellectual leader, the community leader, and the governmental leader, and where all those things come together. And I've been proud to serve with you, and I'm, you're going to obviously crush it in Las Vegas, and I'm sure we all get to go to conferences from time to time, and maybe we'll see you. But thank you for just being you, and we're thrilled to have served alongside you, and grateful for your work. Thank you.
Okay, well, I would just add.
Just Mr. President, as long as you got me, and I had emailed.
Sorry, Councilmember.
You're welcome to add, but
nope. Go ahead, please.
I was going to hold back, but obviously we all couldn't hold back. So, and I'll save the embarrassing stories and anecdotes for when we do the proclamation. But the 5,500, plus students, going on 11 years that you've been here. I mentioned this to the able Susan Madden yesterday, but the average college president tenure is 6.5 years. For a community college president, it's shorter. And so we've been on borrowed time here for quite a while. And to all my colleagues' points, it's a tremendous loss for us, but a great opportunity for you and for the students and community out there in Nevada. Having spent the Nevada caucuses in the '08 campaign, I spent about 4 months in that area. So I have fondness for Las Vegas in that area. And so we have another reason to go back and visit once we continue to open up. But thank you for everything you've done. This budget in particular, as usual, under budget, you're a great partner and you maximize what you do in the return on investment for students and prioritize them above all. And that's what we've all seen. And so we know that the tradition that you've set and the legacy that you leave, well, it's big shoes to fill, but you've set the institution up for continued success. So thank you for that, and more to come, but just very happy. It's always, to Councilmember Navarro's point, this is like the easiest budget to approve. We always want to give you more. We love your students, and they're great advocates. We're not going to do that today, but really appreciate it. So thank you for everything, and thank your entire team, which reflect your great leadership as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
You bet. Okay, well, Dr. Pollard, I like to, as often as possible, let my colleagues go first. So at the risk of repeating everything, I just want to echo much of what they've said. Superstar is right, Council Vice President said. You've obviously confidently excelled at that position and expanded it and made it relevant in so many more areas. And in doing so, we've watched you become a role model to so many all across the county. And it's going to be very hard to fill your shoes in a way that that is appropriate, but we'll have to do our best, because you've as Councilmember Jawando sort of suggested, you've made us a new road by walking it, and that's a key test of a true leader. So we know you're going to crush it, Councilmember Reamer's words in Nevada, and we wish you all the best to do that, and we'll be here as soon as you change your mind. So thank you so much. Looking forward to supporting this budget.
So, Mr. President, you have a unanimous 3-0 committee recommendation before the council.
Wonderful. Thanks so much to the whole team at Montgomery College and to the Education and Culture Committee. All those in favor of the proposed budget for Montgomery College, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Hope to see you all soon. Councilmember Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. So our next item is our Montgomery County Public Schools budget. And so I want to welcome Ms. Brenda Wolf, the president of our Board of Education, Dr. Judy Daca, who's a board member, as well as Dr. Jack Smith, our superintendent for Montgomery County Public Schools, Ms. Karen Stratman, chief of staff for Montgomery County Public Schools, Dr. Janet Wilson, chief of teaching and learning, Derek Turner, chief of engagement, S.E. McGuire, associate superintendent of operations, Thomas Klausing, executive director of finance, and just really want to thank the entire MCPS team, similarly to what we just talked about when it comes to Montgomery College, for continuing to be a partner. And we had this conversation and touched on it a little bit yesterday, but during tough times, it's really important for communication. And we've certainly had tough times when it came to in-person learning being interrupted for COVID-19. And from the beginning, I really want to I remember the first conversation I had with Dr. Smith and said, what are we going to do about feeding kids? I remember it was like literally maybe like a day after we had made the announcement that we were shutting down everything. And it was all hands on deck, figuring out a way, working with staff, working with individuals to make sure that every single need could be met as much as possible based on the circumstances that we had. And that is truly the signal of, great leadership at both the Board of Education and at the superintendent level. And Dr. Smith, just as we gave accolades to Dr. Pollard, we understand that you are leaving and understand that you have family obligations that are incredibly important in me as well as many of my colleagues, understand just how important family is. I completely understand and respect your decision, but also want to say how sorry we are that we are going to lose you. I also have a quote for you, sir, and it is fitting because it is exactly you. When I look at the other superintendents that have been a part of Montgomery County Public Schools, they've been great leaders, but they've also always wanted to be at the forefront. And I don't need to remind Councilmember Navarro, who's been on the board for a long time and knows all too well. But Dr. Smith, great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. And I remember that from the very beginning, and I still have the interview paper. And I really want to thank the Board of Education for involving me in that process as we sat at the Sheraton Hotel. And I took notes, and I kept those notes. And one of the things that you had said at the very beginning that I jotted down was, you know, in education, we get caught up in talking about whether kids are smart or not. And it's completely fundamentally wrong. All of our kids, and we should expect all of them to be able to do great things, sometimes in different ways. But the reality is that they all are going to do different things. And from that came all means all. And it really is something that has resonated with us and took the school system, I think, to the next level in terms of understanding that all of our kids have a role to play in terms of shaping our community and making it a better place. All of them and the goals and everything that they're looking to achieve and accomplish need to be lifted up and valued and supported and protected. And so I want to thank you, sir, because you also talked about what needs to happen and focus on what happens in the school, in our four walls. We need to stop talking about and blaming, the lack of ability for us to do something for our kids based on what happens in their home place or what happens in their community. We can't limit ourselves to that and think that just because they may grow up in different circumstances means that somehow they are destined to not be able to achieve. And you were open and personal about yourself and your own story, about your own success, your own challenges, and really talked about that in a light that made everyone understand that this was personal. This was something that mattered to you at the core and to your heart. And so I just really want to thank you. Well, again, colleagues have an opportunity, and I know that I've kind of opened up the gate by acknowledging the great work of Dr. Smith, and we'll have an opportunity in presenting you with a proclamation, sir, that honors the great work that you have. But I would just be remiss if I didn't just highlight that and your dedication and years of service to Montgomery County Public Schools. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have, I want to thank of course, all of your able staff. And thank the board and Ms. Wolf and Dr. Smith. We'll get to you in a moment. I did want to go over the brief outline, have staff weigh in, and then I'll have you guys close us out before I turn to my colleagues' comments. But we have a modest budget that's before us, one that understands that we continue to have more expenses. It is much harder to stand up in distance learning model. I know that it may seem contrary to some who think, well, if you're not in person, then, you save money. Well, yeah, you save money in some respects, but there's so many other things you need to do, including training. I mean, training all of our teachers and staff to be able to get up to speed when it comes to distance learning is an incredibly difficult task. And to be able to have the additional hours that are there to teach in a different way. Really want to thank all of our teachers and support staff and personnel who continue to stand up, knowing that the best thing for kids all across the board is in-person learning. We all agree and acknowledge that. But from a safety perspective, we also have to be mindful of the physical safety of not only our children in the building, but also our staff and personnel that are in those buildings and responsible for them as well. So the key issues we have are the contributions. We recommended a county contribution of $1.753 billion, represents 63% of the total MCPS budget in FY22. State aid, 882.2 million, which is an increase of about 23.9 million or 3% over the FY21 level. A lot of that is due to Kerwin, the blueprint for Maryland's future, some supplemental grants, and then we have maintenance of effort. Of course, maintenance of effort is based on some of the enrollment changes. The enrollment declined by a little over 3,600 students due to the COVID health pandemic. We know, however, that that spread across the numerous over 200 schools that we have really equates to a small number per school. And so anybody who's thinking that somehow that enrollment means staff reductions or whatever the case may be, that just doesn't exist. A classroom is still a classroom. So from that perspective, there really is no cost savings in that realm because we still have teachers that need to teach these classes for our children. We hope, and so I'm sure we'll hear from Ms. Wolf and Dr. Smith about the hope that some of those students will return. We know that some of those who left our public school system went to private schools because the private schools are actually remaining open or in hybrid models when the school system remained closed, and parents are already eagerly awaiting the opportunity to get back into the public school system. So we'll see what those numbers will be, and we'll continue to follow that as an Education and Culture Committee as we have a multitude of meetings that will happen this summer, understanding what we need to do standing up summer school, as well as what will happen with the fall semester, and analyzing some of the additional funds that are coming from both the federal and state level. And then last but certainly not least, when it came to programmatic adjustments, many of the things that are out there in terms of thinking about how we need to address the needs of our students and continue to meet them where they are, whether it's equity hubs, whether it's this robust summer learning. You guys have the largest summer learning program that you've ever had before. That says something about, again, your commitment to ensuring that our students, when they return in the fall, will be ready to go. And so we're very excited to see that, focusing on mitigating the learning disruption across the schools, the poverty impacted schools, well-being support, and of course the digital learning and support, all of those things that we know are incredibly important, those 4 focus areas. So we appreciate your really concentrating on that. And then COVID-19 relief funding, obviously, there are a number of things that are out there regarding the GEAR funding from the state as well as ESSER funding. And so we will continue to evaluate all of those, but MCPS is expected to receive around $422 million in relief funding. We will continue to have follow-up work sessions to make sure that we're understanding how that money will be utilized, making sure that it's directed, working in conjunction with our school system, with our leadership on both the Board of Education and the superintendent to make sure that we can address all the needs of our students. And so, Mr. President, it's a lot, I know, but when we're talking about basically over half of our budget, I do feel as though it's important for us to make sure that we lay out, as we did in the Education and Culture Committee, what it is that we went over and discussed as a committee with a 3-0 unanimous vote. And so with that, I would like to turn it over to Ms. Rodriguez-Hernandez and thank her and Mr. Howard, as always, for continuing to be great staff when it comes to this, to fill in any of the gaps I may have missed. Then I'd like to turn it over to President Wolf and Dr. Smith, and then we can get to my colleagues' comments on the Education and Culture Committee, and then for the remaining colleagues on the council as well. So Ms. Rodriguez-Hernandez.
Thank you, Chair Rice, and thank you for that great summary. The board requested, the county executive recommended, and as he just noted, the Education and Culture Committee unanimously recommended approval of a $2.78 billion budget for Montgomery County Public Schools in fiscal year 22, which is a 0.9% increase from FY21 and also reflects a 0.7% increase in FTEs from fiscal year 21. As Chair Rice mentioned, there's a county contribution of $1.753 billion. And in state aid, he did note that there is an $882.2 million expected total from the state. And part of that includes the governor's hold harmless grants, which total $29.7 million. And they're two separate grants, one for declining enrollment at $23.8 million and one for the Disabled Student Transportation Grant at $5.9 million. Now, in order for Montgomery County Public Schools to receive this funding, the county contribution must be at least $1 higher than the fiscal year 21 local contribution. And that is reflected in the maintenance effort amount, which is around $40.40 million over fiscal year or over this year's requirement from the declining enrollment in September 30, 2020, which the chair noted of around 4,000 students. Of course, we know that is a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and services are still needed at the same level, and students are expected to enroll back into MCPS as the community reopens. And in part, they will be able to receive these hold harmless grants from the state. As part of the declining enrollment and the impact on contributions, the General Assembly also included provision on that exceeding MOE in fiscal year 22 would not increase funding requirements for future years. And also all fiscal year 23 MOE calculation will also be utilizing either the September 30, 2021 full-time enrollment or the 3-year moving average, which would deduct the 2020 to 2021 school year in their calculation, whichever is greater. So I did just want to note that. And as the chair also mentioned, the board requested the $30 million for the 2.5-year plan for moving from thinking about the number of students to the level of need among students. And he highlighted the 4 areas that framed the entire fiscal year 22 operating budget for the board and for Montgomery County Public Schools, and will be implemented through this plan as well. So that's all. Thank you.
So, Ms. President, if I can turn to President Wolf and then Superintendent Smith, and then turn it over to my colleagues on the Education and Culture Committee, and then other council colleagues, that would be terrific.
Thank you. Good morning, Council President Hooker and council members. I have just a few points that I wanted to make this morning. You know, this has been an unprecedented year, and our operating budget request reflects our understanding of the fiscal constraints of the county. So we are asking only for 0.9% more than our FY 2021 operating budget. You know, when I came before you before, I talked about the growth we had seen in spite of the challenges that we faced this year. This time, I want to share with you the 4 priority areas in this budget in order that we can continue that growth. So this time, our priority areas are maintaining the critical staffing. As Council Member Rice just said, we expect many of the students that had left to return. We're also looking at supports to address learning loss. We are looking at providing mental health and social emotional supports. And lastly, technology remains an ongoing concern. I want to thank you for the partnership that you have shown to the Board of Education and for your continuing commitment to public education. I'm now going to ask Dr. Smith if he would like to say a few words about this also.
Good morning. Thank you, President Wolf. Good morning, President Hooker and members of the council. It's always a pleasure to talk with you about certainly one of the most important topics in our community, and that is public education and the needs of the children and adolescents we serve, every single one of them. And the FY22 budget has been a real challenge for you, for the state, for the school system, and knowing how to move forward because of the uncertainty of this time. But it has been such a collaborative effort, and I really have to pause and thank Chair Rice and Council Member Navarro and Council Member Jawando for the incredibly close connection on an ongoing basis before this pandemic, but certainly through the pandemic. It has been extremely helpful, I think, to everyone, and certainly has helped the school system navigate these waters. The pandemic has had an effect on us in many ways in the school system, and some of those ways we're going to maintain well beyond the pandemic. For example, the well-being teams in every school. The really knowing and understanding the circumstance of every child is so critical if you believe in all means all. 90% of this budget is represented in staff, and I do want to pause and say thank you to the staff of Montgomery County Public Schools. Certainly there have been people who have been unhappy for various reasons, and things are not perfect. They never are. But I would have to say I would love to have a public space to post the literally thousands of emails I've gotten that have praised individual teachers, schools, transportation, food service, bus operators, paraeducators, front office staff, departments at the central office. They have done a phenomenal job. And one of the shout outs I'd like to make is to Ms. Rodriguez Hernandez and Mr. Howard and our budget staff for the incredible job they did in putting together the information about this year's budget. It's just phenomenal. So Nicole and Craig, I just want to say thank you, and to all of our budget staff as you all work together to do that. I also want to say that part of those 4 areas of really mitigating the disruption to learning for all students across every school, every grade level, every program, really paying attention to the social, psychological, and physical needs of our students and their well-being, and understanding the great need and the ratio of need in our most poverty impacted schools relative to other schools. And finally, our technology, are areas that we should never back away from as a community, ever. And certainly when we talk about technology, we have to talk about connectivity as well as technological equipment and access. Those have to be critically important things. Finally, I'd like to say in the 5 years I've been coming in front of you, I have always consistently found individuals who are true partners and collaborators on behalf of all means all children, adolescents, schools in this community. And it has been a pleasure. It has truly been a pleasure to be part of this community and to work in this school system with people who believe so deeply in the power of education, access, and opportunity to help everyone. And so thank you for the work to move forward with this budget. And just please know how much I appreciate you.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
President. Yep.
We good? Okay. Councilmember Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, first, thanks to this entire team, led by President Wolf, of course, and of course, Superintendent Smith. This has been an absolutely extraordinary year, and to see every single staff member from central office all the way to our support service personnel, the dedication of our teachers in doing everything possible to figure out some way of normalcy for our students has been just incredible. It's like it was yesterday when we were at the dais at the council building during a committee session, and I remember one of the staff members from CPS saying, "Oh, I got to leave because we're having a meeting with Montgomery College to talk about virtual education," right? Because this was when we already were starting to see that the pandemic was something that was going to be an issue for us. And I remember sort of thinking like, wow, this sounds almost like sci-fi, like, ooh, virtual, how in the world do you do that for, 160 something thousand students? And to imagine that it happened. And yes, we know that it has not been perfect, of course. But to think of the scope of this endeavor really is mind-boggling, and requires some reflection on how people needed to really step out of not just their comfort zone, but in my opinion, just stretch their entire understanding and ability and skill set to meet this moment. So I really just want to thank you. And for Dr. Smith in particular, when you came, the very first thing I noticed, because I do believe that the energy that people bring into a space is just so important. And that was the first thing that I recognized, was that your energy was one of really wanting to, with humility, understand the student population, the parents, the many issues, and with humility, learn about all of these different issues affecting such an extraordinarily diverse school system. We talk about this all the time, right? Students that receive farms are larger number than DC public school student population. We talk all the time about it's 73% students of color. We talk all the time about all the languages that are spoken, and I was so, relieved that when you came, that was one of the first things that you did was to say, I want to listen, I want to learn, I want to understand. And then I want to do whatever I need to do to meet all of the needs of these students. Not an easy task, but you did that. You did that, and you did it in a way, again, that sent the signal that it was about rolling your sleeves, and it was about let's get to the work. It wasn't about grandstanding. It wasn't about any of those things. It was about let's get it done. And so I just want to thank you because you prepared us well for this pandemic. You laid the foundation, and the work ahead is going to be fierce, no doubt. I am concerned about what we're going to face once all the students come in and we start understanding some of the issues related to the learning gaps that have, exacerbated third grade reading. Where are we with that? I mean, there's just a lot of work that is going to have to take place. But I am a firm believer that culture, setting the tone, the energy that you put through, that it makes a difference. And just like Dr. Pollard, I think that you have done that. You have set that mark and you've established that. And so I just want to thank you. Yes, we'll have an opportunity to wish you all the best, but I do want to wish you all the best as you're transitioning. And again, thank the entire team. I look forward to the official, I suppose, action of the Board of Education to appoint Dr. Menita McKnight as acting superintendent. She is outstanding and fabulous and just a joy to work with. And so I know that she will do a good job in that transition as well. And of course, continue to be here to support in any way we can, because it will be quite an undertaking. It was hard to close, but now in this reopening, I think that we're going to find, especially for the students who had already been disproportionately affected, we're going to find that a lot of that stress and a lot of those issues are going to manifest themselves, and so we're going to have to respond accordingly. But we're up to the task, and we will do that. And again, thank you to President Wolf, and thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for everything that you have given to education and to students for so many years.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Councilmember Navarro. Echo everything that Councilmember Navarro said. I want to give you many compliments, but raise two substantive things too that have been on my mind. Councilmember Navarro raised third grade reading. And we know all of our students have been impacted by the COVID pandemic, but some much more than others, much more profoundly. And I know that gap has tracked our current inequities, of course. We're all very committed to the goal of having children reaching competency of reading in third grade as a critical benchmark. I wanted to bring it up here because it affects our ability to meet that as a county, affects so many areas of the entire county budget moving forward. And I always wish I could attend more E&C meetings, so I have to ask my questions here. A number of articles recently reported growth in the gaps of affecting MCPS's most highly impacted students. Only about 40%, in what I saw, MCPS African American third graders are now meeting state reading standards, 30% of Hispanic third graders, 27% of those receiving federal meal assistance. And I know we've been working in this area for years, and Dr. Smith, I believe you initiated the new curriculum and the audit that found that we weren't providing the support that our students that are falling behind really need. And I know a lot of thought's gone into this and funding for current programs and new programs. So if you could talk about that, what's on my mind, particularly, I know Councilmember Navarro raised this, my district and her district and Councilmember Katz's district, I think, have the majority of our Title I schools. Can you inform us more on what you're doing to ensure the common goal we all share of making sure every child learns to read, specifically the children that I mentioned that are falling behind?
Absolutely. That is one of the most critical and urgent measures that we use is the end of third grade, because it is a marker for future success, typically in upper elementary, middle, and high school. So we have begun in the last 2 years of reporting on third grade. One of the problems with the reporting that you've seen when you see those numbers is it's been based on the state assessment. And that's been a challenge because the state assessment for more than a decade was the Maryland School Assessment that we all saw in the 90s. It was part of No Child Left Behind. Then in 2013-14, that was phased out and the Park assessments were introduced. And then 2 years ago, they started phasing out the Park assessments. Last year, we had no assessment. And so one of the problems is when they change the assessment, then it changes everything that you know and understand about your students. So over the last 5 years, we've instituted the evidence of learning, which looks at multiple measures. And we will send over to all council members where we know our students are based on classroom, district-wide, and state measures or external measures, since it's not a state test right now. And that gives you a much clearer idea of how our students are doing. One of the challenges around the curriculum was very strong curriculum for students who walked in the door at or above grade level that was in place when I got here. The problem with it is it wasn't as strong for students who, for whatever reason, were not reaching the grade level marks at the end of kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade. And so we've introduced a curriculum that is much stronger in that area and benefits not just the students who are accelerated, but all students. And that is often a problem in curriculum, is it's designed for the students who are at or even above grade level, and it should be designed so that students really build those building blocks in school if they haven't gotten them in private pre-K or in other situations. And we know that the affluence or the income level of the family and the educational level of the family has a lot to do with building those building blocks. Right. But as Councilmember Rice pointed out, it doesn't mean the students aren't fully capable. It doesn't mean they don't have as much potential as any other human being or more, but they need school for that purpose. And so we've tried to make Montgomery County Public Schools a place that is good for everyone, whether they have those opportunities outside of the school building or not, but that school meets those foundational purposes. And we've done that through curriculum, instruction, cultural proficiency training, and well-being, supporting the student well-being. And so we'll send you some data that shows you a much broader view using multiple measures of where students are right now as of last fall, where they were based on last year and the previous years, and then methodologies going forward where we will know what students' circumstances are, because the real test of this, and Councilmember Navarro talked about this a minute ago, the real test will not be this summer or next fall. The real test of what we do will be, how will the current second graders who are sitting in second grade classrooms or on second grade Zoom right now, how will they know and do and function and move forward 2 years from today when they walk into fifth grade? That's the question that we ought to all be looking forward to. And then every week, every month, every day next year and the following year looking at that and then adjusting to make sure they are fully ready or beyond ready when they walk into fifth grade. That's the question. So great question. We will send you the information that kind of shows you the state right now, and then what the efforts are moving forward to make sure those things happen.
Thanks. That's great. Quick follow-up. Yeah, I would love to see the materials, the new materials in the curriculum, and learn more about the programs you're putting in place. You also mentioned training. I understand you have some new programs in place to ensure teachers understand how to teach reading. And if you could talk about that for a minute and what evaluations you're using to make sure that's going to work.
Sure. The curriculum that we have adopted goes well beyond textbooks. Historically, a curriculum adoption was a textbook adoption. This adoption was much more about instructional practice, the materials we use, the cultural proficiency to know and understand the children sitting in front of you, additional supports for students who need special education services, ESOL services, or who are in ESOL but accelerated, or in special education but accelerated, or in the regular program but need some specific help in their building their phonics understanding as a first and second grader. And so it's a much more holistic approach where it's not just materials, but it's actually what are we teaching, how are we teaching it, how do we know it's actually working for the child, and if it's not working, what are the most important question, what are we going to do about it? And we'll certainly send you some good summaries and overviews of how all those pieces are fitting together in our classrooms. And that curriculum was adopted in the 2018 school year after about a year and a half of broad-based community work, and is now fully implemented across all elementary and middle schools. And the same is true in math.
That would be great. Thank you. And if we could get, you have such a great team, some sort of regular reports, maybe every 3 months or so, quarterly, so we could know what we're doing to help our students meet the standards, and so we could report back to the parents and others that are asking about what we're doing. Because I think you're doing many great things, and we don't always know about it and are not able to share with all those that are asking. Thank you for that great, wholesome answer. And I know I jumped in because you were answering the previous question, I think, but I really want to thank President Wolf as well, and Dr. McKnight, who's been such a great addition and breath of fresh air. And, I know we'll have many stories and opportunities to thank you, Dr. Smith, for everything you're doing. But you and your team, Ms. McGuire, and everybody there has been so great to work with and is always so responsive. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
And I just want to say Dr. McKnight would be here, but she's covering another obligation for MCPS right now. So, but she would like to have been here.
Totally understand. I spoke to her last night. She's very, very busy. We all understand. But let me raise another second issue on my mind that I've spoken to her and you about, and that's the profound and unmet need for mental health support for our students in our schools. It's been the case for many years. We all know it's something many of us have raised for years and that you're very concerned about, but it might be greater than ever now coming out of COVID, affecting what will be an incredibly large summer school class that you have and the fall enrollment as well. And we know it's that mental health is really a core requirement for every student's ability to be ready to learn. So I'm glad you're committed to adding the positions to support our students and to covering them with the new ARPA funds, which is great. I know standing up those new programs will be an iterative process, and there are many decisions to make individually. And the first phase, wherever we start, won't be the last one. And I am glad we're going to get great recommendations from the task force that has been stood up with my colleagues' help and the county executive's involvement to operationalize that. I think all of my colleagues agree that there's broad unmet need that we want to address, and we know that you're very much on board at addressing it. As a strategy, I would have preferred that we were ready to move some initial tranche of funding today because the need is here today and because it takes so long to onboard people in Montgomery County, even contract staff. But I understand there's a lot more decisions to make and I's to dot and T's to cross. But I just want to prioritize that because it's not before us. People may be looking for it, and to say I really look forward to working with you in partnership soon to get that done for our students as quickly as possible.
Well, certainly back to the staff's reference to the federal funding and to Mr. Rice's reference to federal funding will play an initial part in that. Mm-hmm. We have actually gone out and found an aligned, organized curriculum around physical, social, and psychological well-being that will be implemented. We have implemented much of it this year, but it'll be fully implemented next year. And that's another curricular piece that I would just say hasn't been as fully developed in the past as it could have been, and it needed to be developed. Along with that piece goes to a comment that the staff and Mr. Rice made also about tremendous training. So we'll have tier 1, which means required and obviously paid for training for all instructional staff this summer for the first time ever around these topics and these ways of thinking and being as we think of our students, not as this child does what she's supposed to and this child doesn't do what she's supposed to, but rather what do these two students need and how do I make sure I adjust as the adult and as the professional to make sure that we get what they need. So the first thing is a well-aligned and comprehensive curriculum and set of instructional materials. The second thing is intensive training this summer to make sure that people know how to use that, and that training has to be ongoing. I referenced earlier the well-being teams we have created in schools that have actually been making sure this year, last summer and fall, they were looking for every student. If we had a student who was on our books but not showing up, we went out and did our very, very best to find that student, aggressively looking for them. That kind of approach needs to be continued, and that will require more staff. Right. And obviously, some of that staff can be brought in on grant funding and then gradually over the next 2.5 years rolled into the operating budget as that grant funding goes away. And so that's kind of the third piece. So you have the what are we going to teach? And do we have the expertise to teach it? And then finally, do we have the number of people? Do they have the linguistic and the cultural and the expertise and the knowledge and understanding of the children and of the information so they can do it successfully? And then, of course, always, if it's not working for this child, what are we going to do about it? And that's what we always have to be thinking about that next piece. So that's a very quick overview, but we'll send you some summaries also of how all that work fits together. So all the council members will have that at your fingertips.
Thanks. That's a great answer. I really appreciate that. I know I have a lot of follow-up questions, but I want to be able to just move on to my colleagues. Thanks so much for everything you're doing, and I'll follow up with you individually. Council Vice President Albornoz.
Mr. President, we needed to go through the
my bad.
Committee. Right.
Sorry, I got carried away, Mr. Chairman. Please.
So Councilmember Jawando should go next, and then we can go to the members of the council.
You have text as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Councilmember, please.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll be very brief. I get to see Dr. Smith and team a lot, although the time is coming close to an end, unfortunately, and we'll honor you in appropriate fashion. But also just wanted to add my chorus. Thank you for everything that you've done. I think Councilmember Rice hit it on the head. You have servant leadership that is what you always have modeled for me, and I've seen several superintendents, both as a student myself and then moving into it as an adult, and your style and everyone's style is different, but I've really appreciated your style, and I also am very happy. It just shows succession planning. The way you brought in Dr. McKnight and did that with the team, and the board put her forward, and you created that position. You knew this was going to happen at some point. You didn't know what the personal things were happening in your family life, and we've been keeping you in prayer on that. But it just shows your type of leadership, that you care about the system, you care about the students, and you've wanted to put it in the best position. So I just wanted to say that. There's 1,000 things we could talk about. I think we will continue to do that. I feel very confident that with the ARPA money, with this budget, with the Kerwin changes in dollars, that we are going to be well positioned to meet the needs of our students. It's not going to be easy. As this conversation demonstrates, there's so many things that we need to do, but we're up to the challenge. And I think it's an opportunity for historic investments in a number of areas, certainly mental health, social, emotional, physical well-being, but also to really continue the great tradition of Montgomery County Public Schools. And so it's to take a word from the newly renamed SWAG, Student Wellness Action Group, which is with a self-named working group that Councilman Rice and I working with the school board and the system. Our system has swag, and I'm looking forward to continuing to show that as we recover and improve and provide what all of our students need. So thank you. This is a good budget, more to do in the summer and fall, and we're ready to do it. So thank you to you and your entire team, Dr. Smith and President Wolf.
Back to you, Mr. President, your list, sir.
Thank you. Council Vice President Albornoz.
Great. I just want to start with 4 buckets of thank yous here. The first is to the committee for your continued great work and stewardship. Thank you, Chairman Rice and Council Members Juando and Navarro. You also make it easy for us. And Mr. Cole Rodriguez, great packet. I know you're getting up to speed on all of this, and you've really hit the ground running. Second thank you is for you, Dr. Smith. There are 2 qualities that I especially appreciate and respect in leadership, 2 of many, but 2 in particular. One is understanding the value of partnerships, what that means, what it entails, how to manage them. And you have that in spades. And it's been such a privilege and honor to work with you, first in the executive branch as a sister county agency, and now on this legislative body. And although this is obviously what's best for your family, this is also a tremendous loss for us as well. I've appreciated your leadership and stewardship. And the second quality is humility. And you have accomplished a lot in your time here. And you have also laid a very strong foundation that we will build off moving forward. So thank you very much for your leadership, sir. It's been an honor to work with you. Third thank you is for the Board of Education. Thank you very much, President Wolf, for you and your colleagues' leadership and stewardship. I know you've had very challenging and difficult conversations over a variety of issues, and your leadership has been so important to help ease concern and tension and to provide a middle ground on very complicated issues that none of us have ever quite had to deal with before. So thank you, President Wolf, for your steadfast leadership. And then my final 2 thank yous, and I do have a question, are to the faculty and staff and administration of MCPS. I have just been tremendously impressed and in awe, and those same thousands of thank you notes that you've received, Dr. Smith, I don't know that we've received as many, but we've received many as well, because the leadership, the sacrifice, the innovation, the patience, is really profound. And so I've just been immensely impressed. And then finally, to the students and parents themselves, this year is unprecedented. It just, all of us have experienced trauma in so many different ways, and we're all trying to process it and think about how that will transition into the next year. But as my colleagues have heard me say before, I learned a long time ago that the word patience is rooted in the Latin word to suffer. And I know our parents and families have been suffering, trying to be patient as we've adjusted to these times as best they can. We haven't gotten every situation right, but I think we've gotten a lot more right than we've gotten wrong. And so thank you all for your patience, and we are going to build off of that. Just 2 questions, Dr. Smith, because I know there's a lot going on. This is more broad, but the last year hasn't been all bad. There have been some lessons learned that we may be able to apply moving forward. And I think if we can address the digital divide issue, nothing will ever replace, nor should it, in-person learning. We're going to get back to that. But there are some applications that maybe we can apply moving forward using technology, using innovation to ensure that students build off of some of the successes of this last year to expand some of the learning that occurs, not require people to have to come to a building to be able to access out of school time learning. So there are some options there. And the President Hucker talked about this, but with some of those ARPA funds, will there be an investment in some of those innovation and technology opportunities that we may be able to take advantage of? And I know it's we're still processing how to spend down those funds, but just wanted to put a plug in for that and get your response.
Absolutely. Early on, many parents, even before the pandemic had hit its climax, if you will, and was really swirling around all of us, many parents started identifying that their children's health was such that they didn't know when they would ever be willing or able to send them back to school. And so we started thinking early on last late spring, early summer about, so as, and you know, everyone was waiting for when will this be over, and no one ever could have expected that it would be this long. But what will we do for families who really, because of health threats or with children or family members who have real significant health circumstances, what can we do? So we began building out the idea that we would be able to continue servicing the children in our community if the vast majority of folks were able to go back into school buildings, but some weren't. Secondly, we started getting, and there are not a lot of them, but a substantial number. When you have 12,000 students in a grade level, you know, 5% is 600 students. So our numbers get big quickly. Families who would say, you know, my 7th grade son has never done so well in school and never been happier. What are you going to do to support my child once this is over, and create opportunities for those? So we've been building, and we're talking with our community right now about what their needs are for their children and why for this coming school year. And underlying all of that is a very real understanding and embracing of the idea that the equipment and the connectivity has to be provided by the school system. We can't say, well, you have a computer, so we will serve you, but you don't. Or you have the internet in your home, so we will serve you, but you don't. So we've been working on all of those things, and we are seeing, and the board has been discussing and pushing on us, the very real opportunity as we start next year and go through next year to expand that even more broadly, so that students could, you know, maybe by second semester of next year or the year after, begin to really see the opportunity. If you're in Germantown and you want to access something that's in Silver Spring, the computer makes that possible. If you're in Paint Branch and you want to access something at Wooten, the computer makes that possible. So more than just the binary of you're in a digital academy or you're in in-person school, that certainly will be part of it, but what's everything in between? And then how does that relate to staff using the technology to be more efficient, more effective, and better reach our students, no matter what their circumstance or their location. And so all of those things are in the works right now, and we have large committees of people working on them with us across all stakeholder groups to know and understand exactly what is most important in as we move into a, if we can say, a more typical or normal world and still use all that we've learned in this area.
Thanks. For brevity, I'm going to yield back to you, Mr. President. I'll follow up on the second question that I had afterwards. So thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for that very impressive response. I yield back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other requests to speak? If not, this was a great discussion. Thanks so much, Superintendent Smith, and to you and your entire team, and President Wolf. Always great to see you, and thanks for all your hard work under unbelievably difficult circumstances this year as well. Let me just say all those favorite. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, I just wanted to close with one thing, hearing what everybody has said, and just share a very quick story that's personal to me, and a shout out to Miss Lazambri at Northwest High School. Many of our parents have experienced challenges, and for me personally, as a parent who thought that my child was fine and everything was going well, it's important that we have staff that care, that can reach out to let parents know that they're seeing something that maybe parents aren't seeing. And so when we talk about what it is that we need to do, understand that it is already happening, and that there are staff out there who care tremendously about our kids and want to make sure that they have nothing but the best supports that are necessary for them to continue. And we should not always assume that the students who may need that help are ones who don't have engaged parents, who don't have all the resources that are necessary to provide supports for their children. The reality is that this affects all of us, and it requires all of us to be a team in meeting the needs. Rest assured that this council and me as chair takes this seriously, and it's also personal. It is one where we understand what it means and how our children are affected by this pandemic, and that we need to do more. And I can promise all of my colleagues, just as my colleagues on the Education and Culture Committee, that we will continue to do everything working in concert with our Board of Education and leadership, including the superintendent, to ensure that those supports are there for our students, because we are all only successful if our students and our children are successful. And so I just wanted to close that out, Mr. President, before we lead into budget, because that's what this budget represents. It really does, in terms of an understanding of the importance of our children and the importance of their success in our future. So thank you, Mr. President. Back to you with a unanimous committee recommendation.
Thank you. This MCPS parent fully agrees with you. Okay, all those in favor of the committee's recommendation to approve the county executive's recommendation that fully funds the Board of Education's request, please raise your hand. Great. That is unanimous. Great. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to following up on this great conversation. Now we move on to the FY22 operating budget for the Department of Recreation. We have committee recommendations from the Fed and the E&C committees. Let me turn it to Chairman Reamer.
Thank you, Council President. All right, I will try to move quickly through our packet here. I'm now joined by our rec department team. There we are, Director Riley. It's great to be with an important governmental leader who's not leaving us, Director Riley. Thank you. We really appreciate your work and your team, and we have the leadership of the department here. I see Ms. Anderson, Ms. Keys as well, Ms. Clutter. Welcome back to the County Council. We're always glad to get a chance with you. So I will walk through the Fed committee recommendation on rec, and then with the advanced discussion with the chair of the EC committee, I'll walk through the joint committee's recommendation, and then we'll turn it back to the body. So thank you, Ms. Yao, for preparing the packet and working through some hard work at the tail end of this process. The budget is always a bit of a frenzy, and this year was no exception. We decided that we wanted to have some enhancements. That's more going to be in the joint committee session, but that required some focused work from you and our team at REC, and we're really appreciative of that. So the overall budget recommended budget is a slight decline, 0.7% from the previous approved year, and flat funding in the grant fund and the recreation non-tax supported fund. There are a few enhancements that I wanted to highlight for you. First is the committee is recommending a fund for senior services to be able to do a summer surge or a surge. And we know that the shutdown that we've been under, our seniors have been under, that the social isolation is one of the most serious health threats for senior citizens. And, over the past year, unfortunately, isolation has been a requirement. And now that we have vaccinations and it's safe to come out, we've really got to reach in and provide in-person services and help our seniors who use our senior centers, to maintain social relationships and stay sharp and stay connected. We've got to be able to get back into providing those programming. So the committee has recommended an additional $250,000 for programs, classes, events, clubs at 6 senior centers, senior trip services, and we understand that the department will be able to implement those. On the CIP, there are some ongoing issues with Kennedy Shriver, and so we've added some additional funding to address those. There's an adjustment in the schedule. And then the Martin Luther King Jr. Swim Center, as well. There's an acceleration in the schedule for that that we are pleased with. Turning to the Joint Committee recommendations, this was again focused on the idea of a summer surge. We were all, very enthusiastic about the need to, following on the last discussion about, the school and the possibility of either learning loss or just incomplete learning, as well as, inadequate socialization, social and emotional development. Really provide a summer surge of programming supporting the school system, which has a significant summer program that they're trying to develop, and trying to match that through rec and community partners, nonprofit, for-profit, summer programming as well. And so what we recommended was a fund, turning to page, I don't see a page number, but I guess it's page 3 in the document. There's a chart, and again, we're focused on out of school time programming. So we're starting off with $520,000 appropriation for summer fun centers, and that will support programming there. $99,000 for fun, food, and fitness. An additional $112,000 for summer camps, and an additional $530,000 for community-based programs, which is for, again, our community-based programs to provide enhancements and enrichment and quality programming into our camps and other programs. Then turning to our ongoing effort to expand after-school programming, we have the recommendation to add to accelerate the reopening of 4 EBB and 3 Rec Extra sites, and adding funding for those sites, which are quite substantial in terms of the number of students served there, 120 students per site, 200 per Rec Extra site. The Rec Extra expansion is something we began, I think, 2 years ago, and continuing to stay on track with Rec Extra as well as EBB. And then funding to add 2 EBB sites as well. And we want to thank our community partners, especially AIM, which has been building the groundwork for continued expansion of EBB programming. And there was we ensured that the funding there will include parent support as well, parent leadership training for the potential EBB expansions. It's our tradition from the past several years that we don't actually name the school sites that we want. We leave that to the follow-up work of our team at REC because that's appropriate. But we all share a lot of enthusiasm for the community building strategy that AIM has undertaken and its preparation for these programs, and the fact that we want strong support from the school community in order to succeed. And we know that Wheaton Woods, as Councilmember Navarro spoke about eloquently at the committee, is ready. And so we're optimistic that Wheaton Woods will be one of the sites chosen. And then finally, we did talk a bit about the challenge with staffing, and we learned that there are many front-facing employees who direct rec centers or have high-level positions at rec centers, and they are continuing to telework. And that is indeed a challenge. It's hard to open up a rec center with a teleworking director. And this is despite, the availability of vaccinations and full immunity for some time. And so we need to resolve this issue. It's continuing on, and it's going to make it hard to expand our rec services and open these various rec centers. Of course, several rec centers are being used alternatively, which we are enthusiastic about, for vaccination sites or providing residency or housing for those who are without housing. But there are a number of other rec centers that are open for lack of staffing, and the staffing is teleworking. So continuing issue there that we need to really get the county executive to resolve so that we can provide these services to our community. So I'll pass it to my co-chair, Councilmember Rice, with tremendous appreciation for his leadership over the years and his remarkable job chairing our joint committee session and his strong support for these programs. Mr. Rice.
Well, Chair Reamer, let me just say that you did a great job of summing up everything, and I really want to give an opportunity for those who may have comments who weren't a part of the joint committee, but just again want to thank leadership for all of their great role. We know how important this is going to be. When it comes to disconnection, both we heard it from the Commission on Aging with our senior population. We've seen it anecdotally and heard from individuals anecdotally. All of our offices have. We have a great person who can give us the best breadth of knowledge outside of the current leadership, which is our current colleague, Council Vice President Albornoz, who knows the importance of every single one of these programs. And so I'm just very happy that we have someone who can give us that kind of feedback outside of the typical channels. And it's not to say that we don't trust the great leadership of Director Riley, but it's great to have someone who served in that role who now serves with us. And so just really want to say thank you for continuing to innovate, for continuing to find ways in which we can reach those who need that assistance, and to really think outside of the box when it comes to working with community-based partners who are doing a lot of this work, who may not be governmental entities, but who still have that same sort of ideology around what it is that we need to do to help those who are most vulnerable, who need a helping hand when it comes to that connectivity. And that's what this all is. This is about those soft connections, those being in touch with others. As I think about my mother, who is so excited about going back to bowling and being a part of her bowling league, these are the things that are out there that people miss, and certainly is going to make a tremendous difference in terms of the mental and physical well-being of our constituents. And so just really want to thank the Joint Committee for all of their great work, all of the leaders, and all of the community advocates, especially our nonprofit community, who's going to utilize this money to make a difference in the community as well. So with that, I turn it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. Well, I will turn it back to the council president, and then I'm sure he's fielding requests to speak from our committee members and council colleagues.
Not so far, because the joint committee's been so persuasive. So, colleagues, any comments? Council Vice President Albornoz, beg your pardon. We've been sitting on that prior to your remarks. Sorry.
No worries. Well, I'm never going to miss this opportunity, especially during budget, to chime in. So to current and future colleagues, get used to it. So this is obviously near and dear to my heart on every conceivable level. But last year I got super emotional when talking about the way staff within the Montgomery County Recreation Department stepped forward to help provide food to senior citizens who couldn't come to senior centers, who helped staff homeless centers, that were operating out of our recreation facilities, and had continued over the course of the year to help with vaccine dissemination and just stepping in to help in so many different ways. And I know the team well, as you all know, so I wasn't surprised. But just want to acknowledge Director Riley and her incredible team. And I see my good friends, Adrian Clutter, Vicki Kane, Charlotte Keys, and Tracy Anderson. You're new to the team, but I just want to say I've heard great things about how you've really been able to hit the ground running. So thank you all for your continued leadership. You guys also make it very easy for us to be able to support these budgets, because as our chairman noted, these are having a direct impact, not just on quality of life of all of our residents, but in some cases, literally is life or death when you really think about it. And I want to thank the chairman who understands the value and importance of these programs, and under his leadership and that of all of the committee members, I feel really good that you all get it and are great stewards of these programs. And to future committee chairs that oversee the Recreation Department, I will have that same expectation. I literally know where Councilmember Reamer lives, and so I'll make sure that happens moving forward. But thank you all for your leadership. And then finally, just two substantive points. Very excited about the initiative around senior isolation. We did also appropriate some funds within the HHS committee to tackle this as well. And so those are dots that I think can and will be connected. Director Riley, I'll follow up with you to let you know what specifically we have in mind. But there's a lot of synergy there, which is going to be great because it's going to expand services. And then finally, I do want to also give a special shout out to AIM, who has been a tremendous partner, not just in their advocacy, but much more than that. They actually recruit volunteers and help support both the parents and the children themselves through mentoring programs that are really substantive and profound. And this program would not have reached its tremendous potential without their support and help. And thanks to the leadership of the schools as well, who have been great partners. Recreation is going to be a really important part of the solution moving forward in addressing the myriad of behavioral and emotional health needs of our kids, but also other vulnerable populations as well, including our disability community, which are really going to lean even more heavily on these services, and our seniors too. So thank you all for your continued leadership. I yield back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we have a committee recommendation, joint committee recommendation in front of us. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Terrific. That is unanimous. Okay. Thank you all so much. Keep up the good work. Councilmember Reamer, you're next, right, with the recreation school-based programs?
We just did that.
We did. We combined. So I beg your pardon. Sorry, my notes are not updated. Okay. With that, I think we're on recess till 1:30. Thank you.